What is going on, guys? DBG here, and today, look, we're going to be talking a bit about NBA 2K22 My Team. I'm going to go into a lot more depth on pretty much everything we know so far, and I'll be doing that a lot maybe today, tomorrow, a little bit on Saturday probably. As well as that, after Saturday, I'm going to be making a ton of videos about what the best ways are to start your My Team, different ways to go and make MT, things like that. There's just going to be a lot of situations like that where I'm looking at things, at those type of things. But this video it's going to be the one negative, and I'm going to say it right now, this is going to be there are a few things that I'm look, I don't really see the point of them. I don't see the point of all cards of human gold. I really don't. I think things like holographic cards and grading cards are gimmicks, but there are people that legitimately like them and they have a reason for liking them. It's just again, seeing things like graded, PSA graded collector's items in real life. Not everyone's going to see the value in it, but there are people that do see the value, and there is people that are going to see the value in those things. But in this video, I'm going to give my reasons. I'm not gonna really rant, because I don't think there's a point in ranting with this, because that's just going to be, it's just pointless for me, in my opinion, just to rant, because it is what it is. Nothing's going to change, and I'm going to explain about this mode right here and why I personally think that they've ruined the mode. So, Triple Threat Online. If we look, my console's not on, but if we look at, let me see if I can get I will be able to get a screenshot here of the Triple Threat Online leaderboard. So, for this one, so where's the My Team trailer video? There we go. So this right here. So you guys can see this right here. You can see here wins, losses, and then eliminated is 0. So that's what you guys can see right here. Eliminated 0 and wins, losses. So what used to be the case was back in NBA 2K21, if you lost 3 games, you were out. And one of the big things was why they said they did the 100. Because it means that people are guaranteed to get into the second board here. That is 5 games. I could have swore. Am I wrong? I need to find this. I need to find... Screw it, I'll be able to find it from a DBG gameplay. But, am I right in saying that it was only 1 win, 1 ball drop for the first 2 games last year? Okay. I need to find this right here. I need to find this, because last year, it looks like something's a little bit different. But either way, no, last year, so basically, last year they had this right here. So it was 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, and if you lose, you got 1. So now it's 1, 1, 1, 2, 0, which is the exact same. Okay, so it's the exact same as board as last year. I don't know why I thought it was different, but basically this year now they're saying that you're guaranteed, on every single run, you're guaranteed to get 1 ball drop. Whereas last year, if you lost your first 3 games, you didn't get a single ball drop. But instead of doing what should be the easy fix for this, to go, instead of 1, 1, 1, 0 here, instead of making it 3 losses, make it 4 losses. And you see this 2, 0, make this 2 balls per loss 1. And you've the exact same outcome. Everyone's guaranteed to get onto the 5th game. But what is now ending up happening is that it doesn't matter if you win or lose. The only thing that matters for these first 4, well, obviously about ball drops, but again, you're not getting anything on the first. We know you're not getting anything on the first board. You're not getting anything of note. The best you're getting is a league standard pack. You've got a gold consumables pack, a free agent card, 3 tokens, 500 MT, 1 token, and a league standard pack. And the league standard pack's the highest, so you get this maybe 10% of the time. So you're basically getting nothing. You're getting nothing, 250s on the board. You're getting absolutely nothing in the middle board or the first board right now, even if you're winning games. So now, if you win 22-20, you may as well have lost the game. at the start. Because you lose 21 points for losing a game. But if you win 21-20 or 22-20, it's only a 1 point difference. And the fact is, if you end up going in like there are some games you might win, say, 27-25. And you are better off losing 21-0 in those first games than winning 27-25. It doesn't make sense. It really does not make sense. So let's think of a hypothetical situation right here. So let's say because you're not getting any rewards in these first games, let's say you lose these 4 games 21-0. And then you win this game here 21-15. You win this game 21-15. You've got your 2 ball drops. And you also still are in a good enough spot. You still have points remaining to play this game right here. So you can get on to game 6. If you lose your first 4 games 21-0 and then win 21-15. But if you win and in your 5th game win 21-15. If you win your first 5 games 22-20, you're out. You're out. So you are like, people are saying, oh, it's tactically losing. No, it's not. This is just, there are hypothetical situations where you can be better off losing than winning. Like, there's no individual game where losing is better off than winning, because it's all based on how many points you collectively concede. But it's all about the total. It is all about the total. Like, again, if you end up getting into a sweat fest with somebody and the game goes past 20, like if you are, say, 19-18 down, the dumbest thing you can do is go for the 2 and try. Actually, no, that's kind of stupid for me. I'm trying to think of a situation where it's actually smarter. It's smarter going for broke. Like, there is no situation where, say, if you're down 20-19, you better shoot the 3. Like, you better shoot the 3. Because if you don't shoot the 3, you're either conceding 23 or 22 points and losing the game. Whereas you can lose a 21. A 22-point loss, or a loss to someone scoring 22 points, is worse than a loss to someone scoring 21 when it's a loss is a loss. Like, wins, like, you may be, like, if you play 2 games and you win 21-12 and 21-12, it's actually better to win 21-0 and lose 21-0. So, like, you are actually better off, not obviously in an individual game losing to winning, but in a hypothetical situation over 2 games, you're better off losing 21-0 and winning 21-0 than winning both your games 21-12. So, like, you shouldn't be punished for not winning by enough. And I just don't get what the point of this is. Like, I don't know why I know exactly why they've done it, because what people used to be able to do was, this is how I played. I would chill for these first, like, 4 games. I only started sweating once I got into these top 3 games, and I'd win almost all these games. Like, I won 80-90% of my games. The thing is, though, like, especially later on in the year, what's going to end up happening is if you play somebody who's bad at the game, you're now going to start full court pressing. You're now going to have to start sweating, because that 21-0 is so valuable. Like, if you 21-0 or 21-2 a scrub, a beginner, that is so valuable now. So it used to be the case, if I was playing someone who was a beginner at the game, I would have a little bit of fun. I would mess around. I would try take some crazy shots. I would just relax and have a good time. Because I'm like, look, I'm winning the game anyway, and it doesn't matter. But now I gotta sweat my ass off against guys that have just started the game. So a guy that's just started the game playing a TTO, like, even if you're facing a sweat back in the day, the sweat was unlikely to sweat against you. Maybe some of you guys did, but like, I didn't, because the wins were wins. And I know a lot of people didn't either. That they'd only start sweating if their opponent really sweated them in this game mode. But now the problem is that everyone who's a beginner player, anybody who's good at the game, and I don't even mean like Ty's level, heck, I don't even mean my level, even below that level. If you come up against somebody and you're seeing they're a beginner, they're using starter cards, you're rubbing your hands together and full court pressing them, not letting them make a pass, baiting every single lane to try to get that elusive 21-2 win, which sets you up on your journey. So, like, the game now is a case of, if you are of trying to get beatdowns, it's no longer like, this was the most casual mode. Obviously, wins matter and people do sweat anyway. But now it's a case where You can't be casual. You can't relax even if you want to. Like, I used to play on stream, and if I lost a couple of games, I didn't really mind, because I was like, you know what, I'm not losing 3 out of 10 games. I'm getting all the way to the top board no matter what. Like, that was my whole thing. I was like, I can relax a little bit. Look, I would go, say if I went 10-2 down in the game, I'd be like, okay, now I'm locking in. But now if you go 10-2 down, you're screwed. If you switch off for 1 second, you're screwed. If you're playing a guy who's not really good at the game, you have to go into beatdown mode. And I don't really understand what the benefit of it is. The only thing is that it makes it harder for people to farm MT. And like, if you're in the top 0.1%, like if you're a Tide Evo level player, heck, honestly, like, it could be the stage where especially early in the game, because I'm normally very good at these games early. Like, I probably will be good enough to consistently make it to the top board. The problem is that it's hard. It's way more difficult to not concede 100 than it is to win 7 out of 10 games. It's also punishing you for winning. Like, it's basically punishing strength of schedule. Like, if you're playing against better opponents and you still come out, like, if you would say, if I played Ty and I sweat my ass off and pulled off a win, and it was 22-20, I may as well have lost the game, because I'm still conceding 20 points. And like, that's the weird thing. Like, instead of it being an accomplishment, beating someone who's a sweat, it's essentially a loss because you're conceding a bunch of points anyway. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And I don't understand why they tried to reinvent the wheel. And this, like, people are like, oh, why am I complaining about the game? It's like, well, Unlimited and Limited are horrendous game modes. You still need to win 56 games before you get a chance at 12-0 and Unlimited. Like, I'm not going to touch that this year. Most people aren't going to touch that this year. Limited still has the RNG reward system where it's luck-based. Most people aren't going to touch that again this year. The problem is that Triple Threat was the one game mode that worked really well. Like, it worked really well. There was nothing wrong with the mode. Like, there was genuinely nothing wrong. And if they say, oh, not everyone got a ball drop every single time, not everyone got the second board, you know how to fix that. Bring the second board down 1, make it 4 losses, and then have 2 and 1 here. That is how you fix it. Like, that would have fixed all the problems. And you know what? People would have been like, oh yeah, 4 losses, unreal, I can get to the top board more often. I would have been delighted with that. Everyone would have been delighted with that. And then the players that were maybe the 2 people who ever complained about not getting a pick on triple threat boards because they lost their first 3 games in a row every single time, or they would have a 25% win rate. Those guys at least get their pick and they're happy. You've appeased them. But all this has done is made it so that unless you're a bottom 1%er or top 1%, it doesn't benefit anyone. It doesn't benefit the bottom 1% who are guaranteed a ball drop. Yes. And it benefits the bottom. This benefits the bottom 1% and the top 1%. Will I end up in the top 1%? I don't know. Like, I might be one of those guys that's good enough to consistently get through all the way. But that shouldn't change my opinion on something like this, because just because I'm able to do it. Like, I remember I went 100-0 in season 1. And like, I won and at the end of going 68-0 and getting Paul Pierce, I was like, this system's terrible. I was like, no, almost nobody's going to be able to do this. I was like, just because I did it doesn't mean that everyone's going to be able to. And that's the thing with people viewing this channel, is that a lot of people that are viewing these channels are in the top 1% of players. Like, we can't forget there are 1 million people that play this game. Like, if you're in the top 100, if you're in the top 10,000 people, you're in the top 1%. Top 10,000 players of my team. Actually, heck, there's probably 4 million people that play. If you're in top 40,000 players, you're in top 1%. A lot of people viewing this video will be top 1%ers, and this isn't going to apply to you. I don't think anyone watching this video is going to be in the bottom 1% that's happy about the fact that they're guaranteed 1 pick. And the problem is that there's the 98% in between, that this drives people away from the mode. And again, it's what I always say, is that 2K seem to be driving people away from playing their game. And I'm like, the one game mode that I could actually say, you know what, I'm going to play for enjoyment was Triple Threat. And now there's no game that I can play, that I feel like I can play for enjoyment without feeling like I'm being screwed, without feeling like I'm sweating. Because that's where I like the game. I like the game when I'm not sweating. I don't mind playing the game later on in the year in squad builders. And I think most people are like that. Like, the amount of times I hear from people being like, oh yeah, the game's a lot better where you're not sweating it. And this was the mode. This was the only online mode where you didn't have to sweat your ass off. And now, not only do you have to sweat your ass off, it's basically 2K Dark Souls. So yeah, not really angry as much as I'm kind of worried, because Like, content-wise, for videos, my team's going to be exceptional. It really is. But at the end of the day, I just want to enjoy the game. I really do. Like, I would sacrifice a little bit worse video-wise. I would sacrifice a little bit of revenue to enjoy the game, and I'm not. And this was the one mode that I enjoyed last year, and I don't know how much I'm going to enjoy sweating my ass off in a game when I don't necessarily like it's one thing I don't like doing is sweating my ass off. There's a reason why I push every year for a casual mode, and rather than 2K bringing in a casual mode, they kept the same BS hybrid, unlimited and limited between competitive and casual, and then the one mode that was a casual mode, they turned it into probably the most competitive mode, the mode where you have the least time to switch off in all of my team. I just don't get it. Like, why? Who thought this was a good idea? So anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.